What's up, my squires and fires? We're doing another video, but this time I'm with my dad,
My condolences.
and we are going to be having a program challenge. So we will be doing 3 different challenges, which are 10-minute, 30-minute, and 1 hour, and seeing what exactly we can make in that time. Each time period has its own category, and we will get to those as we're going. So, we're starting with the 10-minute challenge, which will be a parkour platformer.
Yes, and we're doing this in Scratch, which I am not highly familiar with, but I theoretically have more programming experience, so we'll see whether I can catch up and learn what this system uses.
It's a challenge of can he figure out how to use the system fast enough? Because I know the system. So,
Okay.
you ready?
Nope.
Cool. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So the part that I'm making here is just some simple collision that I've done previously, and I had worked before, and it doesn't work, and I've got 3 seconds to fix it, and so basically I don't have much of a game here. I just have some left and right movement.
Alright, so my initial goal was just to find the components that I needed to make this thing. So just finding the ways to have a click do something, or to actually adjust where the sprite is, was my first priority there. I spent a lot of time looking. I then concluded that I needed to adjust a background. And I couldn't figure out how backgrounds worked, and so I rolled something and it looked like a road. So I then changed my sprite to a car so that would work. And I managed basically to get a little bit of movement going with no gravity to pull the car back down to the road, and no edge collision, and then I ran out of time.
Let's see what we got here.
Who's checking first?
I'm checking out yours right now.
Alright.
Ooh, it does more than mine does.
A backdrop.
Yeah, it's backdrop in a car.
It goes forward and back, and it can go up. I was gonna make it to where the car like jumped, but I didn't create gravity to pull it back down, and I didn't really want you to be able to like move it up and down, you know?
Yeah, and it can drive backwards. Look at what
Yeah.
mine can do.
Alright, let me pull yours up then. Alright, let's start this.
What?
That Y value is glitchy.
Really?
Just because I can see it. I can move back and forth.
Yep.
Your movement's smoother than mine, because you probably used the glide or whatever.
No.
No?
I used variables and made it slowly slow you down.
Okay.
You see the X and the XV? That's X velocity.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you actually have a little bit of... You have better physics than I do, because you actually have a thing that is actively working in the background, which I was just starting to do to create gravity. But I have a moving up, and I have a background,
Yeah.
which is literally a stock background.
But like,
yeah, I think we both failed pretty hard at this challenge. That's my gut reaction.
Just teleports through the ground and ignores its existence, even though it shouldn't.
Yeah, I think you must have broke something at the end there. I'm not sure what that was.
I don't know. Well, You ready for the 30-minute challenge?
What was the 30-minute challenge supposed to be again?
A shooter game.
Shooter. Okay.
So go ahead and create another game.
Alright, so let me get set up for that.
Oh wow, this is my third Untitled game. My 30th, sorry. So I can put 30 minutes.
That's, that is an accomplishment in its own right.
That I have 30 games is 30 unnamed ones.
Yes, like... I'm not sure it's something to be proud of. Okay. And this was a shooter, right?
Yes. This is a shooter game.
Alright. Well, we will see if we can get something more interesting this time.
I mean, it's 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think that we really need to, like... I think I'm going to start with a much simpler premise this time and see if I can make something happen. Because that was pretty,
Pretty lousy.
pretty awkward.
But I think this time we can get something slightly better. I hope.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so at your leisure, announce us off.
3, 2, 1, go. So I pretty much started by making up some costumes for these and having some simple code. Then fighting most of the time, trying to get it to give me a certain amount of points depending on how far from the center I am. And then at the very end, I added a few things like a pop sound effect, a way to make it never appear like right where your cursor is or on the edge. And I mean, that kind of worked out pretty well. So I'm glad with how this one turned out.
Alright, so on this one, I was pretty much working my butt off to try and fix the fact that I didn't even have movement worked out on the last one. Wanted something smoother on this one, and was convinced that I was going to try and make some, I don't know, asteroids type game. I ended up spending a huge amount of time trying to figure out why I couldn't make the sprite forward in the direction of top of thing. Couldn't rotate the sprite, or it would also rotate which ways forward, and ended up wasting the vast majority of my time trying to fix that. In the end, I had movement, I had firing, I did not have anything to fire at, and had not done any edge collision again, so that's it.
Oh, I fly sideways, do I?
Yep, I could never figure out how to fix that. I can rotate it, but it always flies sideways.
Okay, this is interesting. I also shoot sideways.
Well, and forward is sideways, and I couldn't rotate the sprite image. Like, I'd have to, I think, do it in an external image editor or something. I couldn't figure out how to rotate that. I can rotate its direction, but it still thinks of forward as sideways.
So, I was spamming the shoot button, and now I can't shoot anymore.
Well, and that's because I didn't have it. I didn't have a way to eliminate sprites or know where the edge borders were. I never figured that out either.
There is a touching edge.
That I didn't find.
Yeah, it's under sensing. Okay, go ahead and check out.
You have a target shooting thing. Okay.
With sound effects.
Yeah, you went a very different direction with shooter than I did. And I think yours is a functionally better game, just because it at least tracks score.
And there's a high score thing.
I mean, I couldn't have competed with that because I don't have cloud access, but...
Yeah.
So, does the game ever... Does it give you less points for hitting, like, not the bullseye?
Yeah. You get more points the more on target you are to the center.
Okay.
You get 20 if you're close to the center. You get 10 if you're further away, and 5 if you basically only hit the target. You don't really aim well.
Okay. Alright, well yours is at least nominally functional and nominally has a score.
Okay, so I end up doing a lot here. Pretty much the few things that I end up doing in the beginning are make some costumes for the rock, have it have a breaking animation. Let's see, what else did I do there again? I made it so that it had that animation actually. I had when it shattered, it sort of exploded into bits, but that didn't work out too well, so I didn't end up keeping those. And so, simple code for all this. I get into the later portions, end up adding some things that you can buy that are rocks per second, rocks per click, and a way to upgrade. Basically going to the next level, which makes your items be able to be more powerful and you can get more rocks. And I ended up adding in a high score with this one too.
Alright, so on this challenge, I sat down and, having never made a clicker game before, concluded that the simplest way to do this would be to break it down with easier components. And since I had seen some clicker games that were more along the lines of fight a thing till you defeat it, have another thing spawn, I concluded I would do something in that vein. My biggest issue was that I started with some code, got things positioned, choose some stock backgrounds and stuff, and then I had the code not work and kept trying to fix it. Wasted the vast majority of my time trying to get something that was broke not to be, and never really managed. I don't know what else I should be saying.
So, here, I'll butt in for the rest of this. We ended up concluding that it was a thing with when the sprite clicked does not really work with clones for one reason or another. So, we ended up changing that for the product that you guys can play. Okay, so what exactly am I supposed to be doing here? Because it's changing from like an apple to a centaur to a donut to a banana to a
Okay,
cat.
so this is supposed to be a fight monsters by clicking them, reducing hit points.
Okay.
The blue button is supposed to increase your multiplier for each click if you have the coins to buy it. So, not only does it not seem to count hit points right, or increment them at all if you use the wrong input, it randomly rotates, which I have no clue how or why it's doing that. It doesn't seem to increase your multiplier appropriately, and seems to randomly give you coins. But somehow it's treating hit points, which is not a global variable, as if it somehow was, and I don't get that at all. Yep, yours is what I would expect of one of these games.
Yep. I did not do too crazy with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing and checking out our Scratch profiles. Mine is Squirtle_N.
And mine is Cho_Kai.
And we will be seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.